Greetings, citizen soldiers. Welcome to the journey. Welcome to the awakening. Welcome, maybe, to the rebellion.
You are loved. No one thinks like you.
Nobody will ever think like you. I am Griffin.
And I'm Tom. And, you have probably been feeling more depressed than normal.
A hole in your heart.
Yeah. And, that's not due to, your job or the news cycle or anything. It's due to the fact that Goober Time with Dr. Chris Chismore, hosted by Tom and Griffin, has not posted for a couple of weeks. And
almost a calendar month.
Almost a calendar month. And it's been for important reasons. We have a big announcement.
We have a big announcement. And basically, we can say it right now.
Basically,
we should just spend the next 10 minutes teeing up the announcement and then just cut the podcast before we say it.
I had to go to Nicaragua.
Tom did a little bit of Matthew McConaughey style soul searching. He got rich off of all of his internet videos, and he had to go to Nicaragua for about 2 weeks.
Yeah, I went to Nicaragua for 2 weeks, which is part of the reason why we weren't posting. The other reason why we weren't posting is because we have this big announcement, and that is the name of the podcast is changing.
That's right. Please pick up your pants. Because you just shit down so hard your pants probably blasted off.
yeah, and you want to pull your pants back up because you don't want the shit to fall out.
You don't want everybody to let that know that the shit's in there. You're going to deal with the shit after we finish the announcement. Don't pause.
Yeah, you don't want to lose all that good shit that you just made.
So we've talked to Dr. Chris Chismore. We had a very constructive phone call with him.
Yeah.
And he's quite pleased with everything we've done.
He has said, you guys have done such a good job of hosting this podcast.
Good job of a podcast.
I want you guys to be effectively kind of the permanent hosts in a way.
Well, we'll see. He's, clearly, once again, this week, he is not here. But the thrust of his message was, the guys, you've done such a good job of the podcast. I've noticed that you've been doing some really important thoughts.
Yes.
They've been coming out of you left and right. And so I'm changing the name of he said he's changing the name of the podcast to Really Important Thinking.
Yes.
To honor that.
That's the new name of the podcast. He says there are no longer any goobers on here. There are only really important thinkers.
That's correct.
So the new name of the podcast is Really Important Thinking.
I do want to say he is still officially the host, but for the foreseeable future, he's wrapped up. He's got a busy year. Right now, he's not here this week. You want me to tell him about this?
Yeah, he communicated with you for once.
Yeah, for one. For once, I quit talking and listened to Dr. Chris Chismore, and he is actually in the Arctic.
Okay,
has he been to the Arctic
doing
before?
there?
I don't think he's been to the Arctic before.
No, he's been close.
He's up in the Arctic, and he is working with a team of crack scientists trying to make a reverse microwave.
Oh, that's a great contribution to society.
It's cold fission, hot fission, whichever is the hot one, the one that's hard to do. Cold, probably. The science hasn't been able to pull it off. Chris Chismore says, let me just take it down one notch and get the next best thing.
Yeah.
Which is, what if you could make it cold within like a minute? And I know some of you thinking that's what the icebox is for. That's what the freezer's for. The freezer doesn't do that. Freezer takes a couple hours probably to really get a good and hard bowl of soup or whatever you frozen.
I don't think you need to sell our citizen soldiers on what a microwave for cold
let me go.
do. I think everybody would love a microwave, but for cold.
It's an instant. Let me invest. Take my money, please, Dr. Chismore.
Sharks. I'm asking for
if it was
$100 million for a 1% stake in microwave, but for cold. Because that is $1 trillion idea.
That's a steal. And I'm just going to keep trying to sell microwave, but for cold.
Really important thinking. Microwave, but for cold. We've already won the Kentucky Derby here. We're not off to the races. It's a phrase that we made up.
We've won the biggest Derby race. Wait, what? That's a phrase we made up?
It's a phrase, yeah. Now you're running in the Kentucky Derby.
Right.
We're quoting our own Penis Boys video.
I barely remember it.
Well, it's one of our most shared.
Wow. Fan, thank you for that.
They let you run in the Kentucky Derby.
Oh, that's right.
We're winning the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, exactly. Take enough ketamine. Well, And that's the big announcement.
That's the big announcement.
And that's where he is this week.
You guys are still citizen soldiers. We are still going to optimize everything that we can
and not destroy. What do they call it? Disrupt.
Yeah, we're going to disrupt. We're going to hack. We're going to optimize. We're still going to bring on experts, guys, women,
anyone,
unfiltered thinkers,
and unencumbered by mostly academia.
Yes.
And unencumbered by peer review.
Yes.
Peer review is a broken process. We know this.
And as always, uncensored as well.
Right. People saying fuck.
People saying fuck, shit, pussy.
R word
dick.
if they want to. That's okay on this podcast. That's okay on almost every podcast.
Yeah. It's okay. It really is okay now.
Yeah.
I think
well, then say
the battle
Tom.
has been lost.
Well, then just say it.
Retarded.
Oh! And see, that was fine and normal.
Okay.
And that probably didn't bother anybody.
Nope. Okay, great. So I've said it, and now we can get on.
made yourself uncomfortable. I tricked you into making yourself uncomfortable.
Whatever. I don't care.
On to the topic for the day.
The topic for today, is optimizing children. How to rear the perfect child. And parenting.
They're our future, they say.
Yeah. And children have long been maligned.
Right.
They have a lot of problems with them. Talking
shit about kids. Everybody's questioning. It's like nutrition. There's new science, new best practices, new methodology. I'd say every 6 months, somebody comes up with a new way.
New technology for kids.
For how, what you should be eating. And they come up with new technology for kids. You get the lights. You need the light flashing on them because then that makes their brain go, oh, actually, the light's bad. Actually, never mind about that light. It was flashing too much. Made them all sort of weird. Don't touch the bottoms of their feet. Tickling is bad. I don't know. I'm just making up stuff. But
tickling is bad.
I swear to God, somebody else is saying it.
And that's why we, as two childless men in their late 30s, are taking on this topic, because what better to fix problems than someone unfettered.
We don't have
again.
Big Child isn't behind us paying us money.
Big Child is not behind us.
Big Child isn't. There's no dark Big Child money coming into this podcast.
No, it's not like Jeffrey Giraffe from Toys R Us is leaving us a stack of cash outside the door.
We can speak freely about Toys R Us.
Yes.
And children's issues
and how to make kids better.
Yes. I have no children in my future currently. Kind of looking forward to seeing a hard path towards them, if I'm being honest with myself and you. Tom?
Yeah, and this is actually another kind of big announcement, because I don't think I've said it publicly, and I don't plan on saying it publicly.
Well, never mind.
I don't plan on saying it. Well, I don't say what I was meaning to say is I don't plan on saying it publicly online, like on my Instagram or social channels. But I will say on the podcast that I'm expecting a child.
It's like, that kind of fucks the whole
No, not at all. I don't mind saying it. It's like that's what that's why people. That is my reward to you as a citizen soldier.
You get to know about Tom's real life.
People as you get to actually know about my real life.
And I'm sure as Tom's star rises, he won't regret that at all.
No, my wife and I are having a child, and the baby is due in December. So I am going to become a parent.
For unto us a child is given.
Yes, and just like the other child born in December, Jesus of Nazareth, my child will also be the savior of humanity.
I thought you were going to say Martin Hinckley, the kid down the street from me. I just made up this child from my childhood.
Okay. I thought it was going to be Martin Herlihy.
Herlihy.
Please don't destroy.
He's sticking around. He's going to stay on the show.
And boy, if my daughter could grow up to be like Martin Herlihy, I'd be a proud parent.
She'd be a funny, skinny, weird little girl.
We're having a girl.
Martin?
That's the fourth big announcement
that I've sort of made you make.
I don't care.
Martin, if you're listening, we really. I don't know you. I like their videos.
Yeah, he is
to be
funny.
honest, people like to hate on those boys, but I think they made some funny videos before they were on SNL, and I think they made some funny ones during it.
I agree. So, kids, optimizing children.
Well,
what are we going to do about these kids? It's like they come out,
They're coming out all fucked up these days.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it. First off, you don't see children around anymore.
No.
Where are they?
No, they're inside their houses.
I'm walking around Eagle Rock. I'm banging pots and pans. And where are the kids? I'm trying to get the kids out in the street like
like the Pied Piper.
With the Pied Piper. Kids, we need to be building some forts out here. You need to be, you need to have some role. I'm a great role model. I'm running around the neighborhood screaming, I'm a great role model. Where are the children?
Yeah.
Show me the kids. Let them see me.
Mentor alert.
Yeah.
Who wants a mentor, kids?
Free mentor.
Honestly, though, that's something that I think is a great way to optimize children. I have written down in here is teaching them that strangers aren't dangerous.
Stranger danger, we've overcorrected. We turned the knob too hard.
I legitimately think we have overcorrected on stranger danger.
I believe you're probably right. I haven't really thought it through any further than the last 5 seconds that we've been talking about it, but I believe you're right.
Once my daughter pops out into the world, I'm sitting her down. I'm saying the most dangerous people are the people that you know. The people closest to you are the people that will betray you.
Right. The people who most often kill women in true crime shows and podcasts are people who they know.
Are people who they know, like their fathers.
So you need to know.
So
don't trust me.
Don't trust me.
Don't trust Griffin. Don't trust comedian Luke Knoll.
No.
Or their friends, because it could be our friends who are the ones who try to murder your daughter.
Yeah.
Yikes. It got dark quick.
It got dark quick. Oh man, this one,
I'd say we're off to the races.
I drank my silly juice this morning.
That's good.
Anyway, so but I do think we have overcorrected on the stranger danger.
Yeah, because there's a lot of anxiety, inducing a lot of anxiety in the children.
Absolutely.
Is what you're thinking. There's probably a lot of lessons to be learned from strangers.
Yeah, there are a lot of lessons to be learned.
There's probably a lot of them.
And if you have a growth-oriented mindset,
yes,
there's something to be learned from everyone and everything.
Right. Every human being is beautiful and sacred and contains knowledge. If you're just willing to crack open that nut and get in there and get that nut meat of knowledge.
Really, what we should be teaching our children is how to assess and judge people better.
Yes, critical thinking. Judgment, I say there's a lot of, don't judge, don't prejudge this, but don't be. You should be very judgmental.
Yes.
Not bad, don't be bigoted.
Yes.
But you need to be assessing the world. You need like Terminator. You need to have the little red HUD that's going Tom Feld.
Yeah.
And then be processing, what about him? Is this a good person? Is this the type of thing I want in my life? I should be thinking critically about every crumb of matter on God's green earth.
We're men of science, and
we're
reason.
Weird men of science.
We are men of science, is what I said. We're also weird men of science.
Once this podcast goes so well, we do a spinoff podcast. It's going to be, or we change the name again. It's going to be called Weird Men of Science.
Weird Men of Science. We are men of science, and when we're judging people, of course, we don't judge them based on the external factors,
immutable characteristics. Tom,
but as the kids would say today, there is an important thing of aura or energy.
I forgot about
aura. We need to teach our kids how to judge strangers based on aura and energy. But because we are men of science, when we say aura and energy, what we're talking about is those million little factors that our brains are, our brains are computers. Guys like us.
And Tom, you might be leaning so far that way, you might be out of the frame. I can't really tell. Right, to give you a little bit of a note.
I'm kind of uncomfortable.
That's okay.
Doing that.
Yeah.
Anyway, our brains. Guys like us, our citizen soldiers, our brains are like computers.
Yes,
and
we're mentats.
So yes, we are mentats. We are processing. We are taking people's body language.
It's body language. It's pheromones. I'm getting hella information from pheromones.
Yes.
Somebody smells kind of weird. Reminds me of something I don't like.
Yeah.
Reminds me of a lady who was mean to me in middle school or something. She's the same type of lady. She's gone. She's out. I'm walking away from that conversation.
If we're in public at like a store, like say the grocery store, we're looking at their grocery haul. Are they making sound choices? What nutrients? Combination of items are there? Yeah. Are they getting enough nutrients? Is it packed with about 48 grams of protein per square inch? Yeah.
Or is it all, carbs?
Yes. Those are all the things that we assess.
Yes.
When we judge people, and that's what I think we need to.
You need to be building good instincts in your daughter, Tom.
Yeah.
And all the daughters out there, and children in general. I thought I had a further thought about how to do that, but yeah, the instincts of how to judge people, make them good judges of character. Mm-hmm. That's just real.
Yeah, that is real. And then they can build a powerful network from a young age.
I'd say it took me until I was about 35 to start cutting the wheat and separate. What do they say? Separate the wheat from the chaff.
Yeah, separate the wheat from the chaff.
People out. I cut out a couple people in like high school. I was like, this guy's a fucking goob. This guy's a goober.
Yeah,
not going to be friends with this person anymore. Mm-hmm. And then I kind of didn't start doing it. I built up more chaff, more goobers. And it wasn't probably until my 30s that I started thinking, you know what? I don't have to have this person in my life. They're fine.
Yes.
Maybe they're nice. Maybe there's something beautiful and special that I've learned from them, in fact. But I no longer am getting ROI on that friendship.
Well, and that's a really important thought, because we can teach that same thing to kids, and we often don't. When we raise kids, we say, you need to be kind to everyone and amass friends, when really we should be saying, you should be more shrewd.
Yes.
Aiden, I saw you playing with Aiden. He's not the type, he doesn't have a growth-oriented mindset. He's not the type of boy that's going to help you reach your BHAGs, your goals.
I forgot about BHAGs. God.
A BHAG.
Damn it. I could have lived the rest of my life without BHAGs, and you've brought it back to me.
If for some reason...
Oh, fuck, that sucks.
You are listening and you don't know what a BHAG is.
Fast follow.
A big, hairy, audacious goal.
People like that, they also like to say fast follow.
Yeah, fast follow. Well, quick
which
fast
is just,
follow
which
on
is
the
just,
BHAGs.
I'm emailing you again.
Yeah.
Which, if you couldn't tell from the email about how you got an email already, well, I'm letting you know this is a second email.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, going off on a mini rant for some reason. What were we talking about? BHAGs?
Yeah, teaching kids to cut friends out of their network early.
Yes, I've met Aiden's parents. I know the type of boy he's going to grow into, the type of man he's going to grow into. You don't want to be around that.
Yeah.
These are big, dumb, stupid people.
Yeah, I agree.
Though I will say some children are able to, against all odds, become good, having had stupid parents, bad parents. We see this all over. Mm-hmm. Tom Cruise, probably a bad dad or something. I think he's bad dad. He's become an incredible individual.
Wait, you're saying Tom Cruise is a bad dad?
No, he had a bad dad.
Oh, he had a bad dad.
And now look at him.
Yes.
The king of Hollywood.
Yeah.
So we see this time and time again.
Okay, so yes, time and time again, Tom Cruise, one example.
Yeah, there's probably others. Many Hollywood guys probably had bad parents, and yet they persevered. Don't know why I brought that up, but it just seemed like an important thought, an important caveat. Caveat?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's also another...
But I will say, okay. I think that's from these kids having other smart kids around. Some kids are just born with an innate ability to judge and to assess. And I think, if you need to instill it in your children, because they have the rising tide raises all ships. Tom Cruise probably around some pretty smart cookies when he was a kid. That's how he overcomes how bad his dad probably was.
Okay.
I think there's like a story of like his dad was like, putting cigarettes out on him or something. I'll quit talking. You take the reins. No, man. I see how you're looking at me.
I really just did not expect you to go so hard with the Tom Cruise thing.
Well, but once I started talking, I couldn't figure out how to steer a different direction.
Okay. So we've got judge of character. Teach your kids how to be a good judge of character, which is a good piece of parenting advice.
Yes.
The second one, teach children how to cut toxic people out of their network.
Yes.
From an early age.
Yes.
My third thing, my parents never told me how important your brand is. My parents failed to tell me. They were like, you got to go to church. You got to learn about Jesus. They never told me you got to build a brand. And that, I think, is a personal failing.
Yes. I wish, I wish,
I wish
my parents hadn't encouraged my every whim and desire and hobby so deeply, so richly. I wish what they had said was, you have to pick a lane. It's going to be too confusing when you have to explain to people what it is you do. You can't be like, well, I'm a scientist and an airplane pilot and a filmmaker and a novelist. That's nobody wants, their eyes have glazed over. You need to just pick one of those things.
Yeah.
So quit it with all these hobbies.
Yeah.
Let's stick with one for a long time.
Yeah. So
I'm not buying you any other model airplane kits or whatever.
So is what you're saying that like you need to tell your kid like, hey, you're going to have a job when you get older. So this is the job we've kind of picked for you. Like you've got to fabricate steel so people understand what you're doing. And we're going to get you on fabricating steel from an early age.
Well, I'm going to push back. It's less,
okay.
Top down. We're going to give you, you're a steel fabricator. It's less, sort of Chinese Communist Party, planned economy situation. But it's, we're going to let you, but there's just, you need to pick one because not only will it be helpful for your career, but to the brand thing, people just need to understand. You can change it. Yeah. Here's the thing. You can change it, but people just need to understand what the fuck it is you do.
Yeah, exactly.
I was in high school and I remember being at somebody's like graduation party and talking to their parents about what I was going to do, where I was going to go, what I was going to study. I didn't know. I barely knew where I was going to go to college. I definitely didn't know what I was going to study. And I remember this one looking at me like, "Oh, honey, you have to know." My brand was probably a silly guy who was friend of her sons, not go-getter who's got a plan.
Yeah,
this boy's going to make something of himself. So, just pick a lane. Tell your children to pick a lane.
Yeah,
help them pick that lane, but then once they've picked it, don't let them bail.
It's a good lesson for kids to learn early on that you are what you do for a living.
You are what you do for a living. People,
you are your vocation.
As society might to tell you the opposite. Jesus Christ, it's true. It's just that's how people think of each other. And I don't even want to think about people like that all the time. Sometimes I don't want to be out of the party asking like, "Hi, nice to meet you. What do you do?" And I mean their job. But you know what? I do mean that because that's how you spend most of your fucking time. I'd love to hear about your hobbies too, but I'm not going to walk up to a stranger at a party and talk about their hobbies. I want to know what it is they do. It's important. It's how you've chosen to spend your life. End of thought.
Excellent thought. So
branding.
Yeah, I think with children, one thing my parents never told me is how important my brand was.
Yes.
So one thing that kids kind of understand more these days is about building a brand. You ask a kid what he wants to do.
Oh.
They say, I want to be a YouTuber. I want to be a podcaster.
Most of them want to be YouTubers and podcasters.
Yeah, because they want to get paid to just be themselves, to be their brand.
Right.
So they understand that more. But here, at the age of 33, 34, maybe I started to find my brand.
Right.
Whereas like if my parents would have taught me that from an early age, I could have had my brand by 15, 16.
You'd be popping off right now.
I could have been.
You'd be retiring.
Yeah, I could.
Second career. You'd be onto your second or third career.
Yeah, I'd be onto my second or third
career. You wouldn't
career.
retire. First off, don't ever retire.
No, never retire.
Big mistake. That's how you start dying. You'd be on your second or third career.
Yeah.
Think about it. At 15, you're making TikTok videos or whatever. We're past that. The ham videos are done by the time you're 17.
Yeah, exactly.
Whew, my life would be a hell of a lot better.
If I am done making ham videos.
Yeah, if the ham videos had been done before I ever met you.
Yeah, that would make your life a lot better.
Yeah, it's really affecting my life right now. Then the second, what do you think the second phase of your life would have been? Once, if you'd gotten this done earlier, the current phase.
Oh, I think maybe like academia.
Right.
I think
history
teacher. Yeah, I would have said, okay, I've been silly enough. I've had a career as a silly man, and now it's time to be a serious historian.
I think you're right. I think most comedians, when they kind of hit their peak, what they then do is they kind of turn towards dramatic roles.
Yeah,
or they drop off. They quit doing their big stand-up specials, and they get a little bit more thoughtful.
Yeah.
With whatever their output is, more sincere.
I'd focus on a really obscure part of history that no one cares about and be screaming like, why doesn't anyone care about this?
Right.
Maybe like pick some like Balkan country in like the 1400s.
And like one specific battle that you just can't get enough of, and everybody else like doesn't want to hear about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see you being that guy.
And I'd have a weird little office at the University of Chicago.
Like in a back nook, like you have like one like slender little window.
Yeah.
Knock at your door. Oh, your head comes around the corner. It's an old student.
And I'd be walking around campus banging pans and saying, "Mentor alert! Mentor alert!" Who wants to hear about the Transylvanian like potato wars?
Yeah. I think that's an excellent second career.
What do you think your second career would have been?
Well, I got to get my first one going.
Yeah, because your parents did not teach you.
No, they said go nuts. You can do anything good. You are special. And you're a genius. Well, where am I at now? I think I'm still struggling with the lack of of childhood branding.
Yeah.
Because I'm sort of comedian, sort of filmmaker. People call me filmmaker now because that's what I do for work. Making ads. God, I'd be done with making movies probably. My first career, I'm done with comedy movies, and I just move on to my serious movies.
Yeah, so make stuff like Stalker.
I'm making stuff that's like just fully inscrutable, and tough to sell your friends on watching on a Friday night. Yeah, I'm trying to think if it would be a totally. Second career. Man, every now and then I'm like, it'd be awesome to just like be one of these guys who takes people out hunting. Like a hunting guy. I don't know enough about hunting and like, especially elk. I think elk stalking, that's where you need a guide. I don't know nothing about that, but I'd probably start trying to do some more of that.
My friend Mike is a pilot, and he thought about leaving the Air Force to go be like a guide, like a bush pilot. Yeah, and like take people hunting and fishing in Alaska
awesome.
and drive them there.
That sounds,
which is a cool job.
Really cool.
A cool second career.
Yeah, that's my answer for now. But now you really got me thinking about it.
Well, yeah. Well, because your parents never taught you early, so now you're a man child.
Yeah, I'm the big problem.
Okay, here's a question that could provoke some really important thoughts.
I'd like that.
At what point do you think a child becomes an adult?
First time they hear about death.
Okay. then how can we get that?
I think I'll say this. I don't think it happens all at once. I think it happens in steps.
Okay.
Death, that's one step.
Yeah. Learning about death, that's a step towards becoming an adult.
Seeing a naked adult. Naked.
Nudity, yeah. I guess remembering nudity, yeah.
Sexual activity. These are all steps.
Well, maybe that's a bad question.
And then finally job.
Job is absolutely
paycheck. I don't think, again, not any one of these does it, but I think if in one day you see a guy die, you get a job, they pay you that day, and then you get laid, and you're 14 years old, I got news. You're a man.
Yeah, that is a big adult day.
That's a big adult day.
It's a big adult day.
That's Griffin Windsor's trifecta of adulthood.
I was going to then follow up with how can we make all of those happen as early as possible, but given what they are, I don't think I want to do that.
Right.
Not even in a joking manner on the podcast.
No. I don't think so, because childhood is sacred. I don't want to be taking away from children.
Though I do
there's
think
a lot of people who are rushing kids towards the factory lines or whatever. People like bald capitalists trying to squeeze every inch of life value out of these children's lives. But taking breaks is important in your work, and the biggest break of all is childhood.
Yeah. I do remember as a kid getting a job. My parents never forced me to get a job, but they were like suggestive at one point when they would like stop giving me money for things like small, like when I wanted to buy like bigger things, they'd be like, well, if you want that, you're not going to make that getting like $5 for doing chores here and there. You're going to have to do that in order to get that thing that you want. You're going to have to get a job. And then I started working and I was like, oh, holy shit. I do kind of feel like an adult. Job it was like really big.
Job is huge.
And the Griffin Windsor trifecta of adulthood. I think I found out about death fairly early. That is harder for me. Human death. Yeah.
I don't care about your fish dying, your dog dying. I do. I mean, it's not good. I don't want. It's sad.
Yeah. I had like a grandparent die pretty early on.
No, it's got to be another kid.
Oh, you think another kid? I mean, that I don't think I have.
No,
that,
I think grandparent dying does it. I think that's a step. Even 8 years old. I don't know how old. I wasn't 8 years. I had a great grandpa die when I was. I don't know. I remember like being in the yard and being like, "Wow, he's gone." And it was just, I wasn't close with him. It was effectively a guy I met a few times.
Yeah,
but it was very, very sad. Great grandpa died, and I was like hit with, I'll never see that person again. About 8 years old. Well, 8 years of pure childhood till then. Now I've got one step towards manhood.
Mm-hmm.
Couple more years until I have sex.
Okay, a couple more years.
In the beautiful story that is the life of Griffin Winslow.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I don't think I ever had the misfortune of having like a kid that I knew die super early on. My friend in middle school did get a terminal illness and he came close to dying. So that was kind of like
that's pretty good for you.
So that was kind of a step towards adulthood.
Yeah, I think brushes with mortality. Maybe I'll take it away. Maybe I'll back away from hard on death. Hard on death. Yikes. Whoops.
Rigor mortis.
Rigor mortis.
Hard on death.
Hard on death.
Hard on death.
Hard on death.
From Liquid, the newest sparkling raspberry beverage.
Every time I see my wife, I get hard on death. I hate fucking that bra. Old comedian. That's like sort of an 80s comedian.
Hard on death.
Hard on death.
Oh, okay. Every time I see my wife, so
my ugly hag of a wife.
Okay, so this comedian is repulsed by his wife.
It's sort of
okay. Catskills.
Exactly. Catskills.
80s Catskills hack comedian.
I would never say that. I just want to be clear. That was irony. I was being ironic. I hope you can understand that about me, dear listener and dear Tom.
There's some good, I've seen some good TikToks recently where like there were a few like, and these are like Gen Z comedians or whatever, who have gotten so fed up with the fact that like people cannot understand irony or like that they're doing a character bit that they're starting to make these videos they're like, this is how people want me to do comedy on here. And then they're like, attention everyone, this is a character. I am doing satire. And it is kind of the state of our world.
Rough. That's rough.
I do think,
that is rough.
I do think something that I want, legitimately in order to optimize kids, fucking media literacy.
I think take those phones away.
Thinking.
I think phones are gone.
Well, that's a legitimate piece of parenting advice is to pull the screens away.
Oh yeah. Smash the screen. Don't let them have a screen.
But then I also saw, because I've actually been reading a little bit about parenting ahead of having a child.
Just a little.
Just a small dose. You want to, there is a sense in which I'm like, I want to be prepared, but I don't want to over prepare because a lot of it, not that having a dog is any similar, but I remember reading a bunch of dog training books and be like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And then I had the dog and you're just like, okay, I don't do any of that. I try and do a little bit of it, but it's much harder to fucking do it. Be like, I'm not going to give my dog treats. He's going to appreciate my praise enough. And then like the dog just doesn't care. And then I'm like, I'm not going to do like with a human being. That's just going to be like 10x'd.
Yeah.
So I can try and prepare, but then it's like, it's a baby for 2 years.
It's a baby for 2 years. At three, you become a child. At 3, you're maybe a young man.
You're a young man.
You gain the power of speech. You become that's another path. That's another step on the path towards manhood.
And the Griffin Winsler trifecta of adulthood.
You gain free speech.
Free speech is so good. Free speech is an excellent notch to add to the Griffin Winsler. It's becoming a belt of adulthood now.
That's right. Yes. The belt of adulthood.
Griffin Winsler's adult of belt or a belt.
A bandolier. It's a bandolier.
Bandolier
across you wear across the front chest.
Yeah.
And each step is either a step or you could view it as a what do they keep in those shotgun shells, bullets?
Yeah,
is that what's in the bandolier?
You gotta make some room for my computer because it's hot on my lap. Okay, here we go.
Here's another thought. Here's one that I know. I think I could see an argument for, and I know my dad, absolutely, Dad, if you're listening, trust me, I've heard that you might, some people might think you don't become an adult until you yourself have children. And then you finally have access to what being an adult is.
Yeah. That's very true.
So you might be but a boy, and in a mere few months, you'll become a man.
Yeah.
You'll have the weight of the responsibility of your daughter's life will, according to my father, turn you into a Republican. But it will reorganize your brain chemistry.
In
such a way that you'll be unidentifiable. But guys, like, you don't even want to hang out with me anymore.
Yeah, I'll be like, Griffin smells disgusting to me now.
My pheromones will be bad. They'll stink of cat and booze and free association.
Uncensored speech, and now I don't curse.
You stop cursing.
I'm going to stop cursing. I'm going to start going to bed at a reasonable hour. I'm going to start sneezing loudly because I'm about to become a father. Yep. I'll start making dad jokes. I do. That is something I've heard too, where people are like, well, life doesn't really begin until you have kids, which is kind of crazy to say. I think that people on both the like hardcore, like life is about being a parent, and like that is anyone who's not a parent, like I don't care to talk to them or respect them.
Right. They haven't done it.
Absolutely insane take. And then the flip side of the people who also are very loud on the internet, who are like, I am child free and I will never have children. And if you have children, like, I can't understand why you would want to have children in a world like this.
Right.
I do not have a disgusting, snotty kid.
Have you seen people saying this on the internet?
Oh yeah. There are both women and men who are like so hardcore child free, where they're just like, and I don't know why. I also don't know why it's irresponsible to be having children right now. And you're just like,
I would say it's irresponsible for you to have children for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
You demented, twisted, sad little bug.
But I think that's the other, thing about, in order to optimize children, we have to first optimize parents, and that's a really important thought to have too.
Yes, I think that's maybe the most important thought we've had so far. In order to optimize children, you have to optimize yourself as the parent.
You must first optimize parents.
If you're like me, I don't have children, but I have friends who are parents. Well, it's on me to optimize my friends into parenthood.
Yeah.
So Tom, I'll be there every step of the way, making sure you're doing the right stuff for your daughter.
I would love that.
As far as I think, as I consider it to be.
Because I value your time, I will also pay you a weekly stipend to consult.
Consult on your daughter's life. As you should.
Yeah.
And as I respect you and your abilities to engage in capitalism, I'll be haggling with you about that price.
Excellent. I look forward to that.
Incredible. The future is going to be perfect. You're going to have a daughter, and I'm going to be making money off of her.
Yes, exactly.
Almost instantly.
I will say, instead of "this is Uncle Griffin," I will say, "This is Griffin. He has a 3% stake in your life." Didn't
we talk about this? Was this on a podcast, or this is just hanging out? I said I was going to give you $100,000, and I get a 3% stake in your daughter's life.
Yeah, and that's he is a wealthy investor who has a stake in your life. He consults.
He's wealthy. He did put together every ounce of net worth he had, and he gave it to me. But he's wealthy still because he has a 3% stake in your life.
Yes, and he consults me, and he gives me parenting strategies.
I'm like on a couch eating like Cheetos. I'm like, don't let her play outside with those other kids so much. It's too much time on the TV. She needs to be playing with other kids.
He's watching the friends you choose, and he's making sure that those friends have a good ROI for you early on.
I got binoculars. I got a telescope. I'm watching these kids you're playing with. And let me tell you, I'm also walking around in their neighborhoods, banging my pots and my pans and my big drum, saying "Mentor alert, mentor alert," because I got a lot of heavy lifting to do to get these associates of your daughters up to the standards.
Well, I just had a really important thought here, and
I love how often you call out your really important thoughts.
Well, that's kind of what we're trying to lean into with the podcast.
Yeah, I know you're really good at it.
Yeah, well, we've done a really good job of the podcast. That's why we got the name change.
That's right.
We even had a review. Thank you to our most recent 5-star reviewer, Mrs. Dr. Chris Chismore, who said you guys are doing a really great job of a podcast while Chris Chismore is away. Very straightforward, still in the realm, in the universe. We like a character being added, but still
that's great.
Within the canon. So thank you for that 5-star review. Yeah.
Also, this is, sorry to step back from the
That's
conversation
okay.
for a second,
I
but we
haven't
forgot
lost my
an
important thought.
important piece of housekeeping.
What?
Well, Tom, let's save it for the end.
Okay. So this is the really important thought I had.
Yeah.
Sometimes in order to optimize children, you don't always have to be a parent either. You can be a big brother or big sister taking place in that, or an uncle. Uncles are some of the best. Uncles and aunts are some of the best at optimizing children. My uncle definitely helped optimize me, and not in the way you're thinking.
I think if you hadn't done that last part, everybody would have just understood what you meant, and it would have been normal. But now here we are.
Now here we are.
Welcome to my life, man. This is what it's like. You say something normal, you hear it could be weird, then you let everybody know it's weird, thus making it weird. And now you're talking about Tom Cruise for about 10 minutes.
I've done that a couple of times on the pod already, and on this episode, and I apologize for that. But anyway, my uncle did help optimize me. Both uncles. Actually, I had 3. I've been lucky enough to have 3 uncles.
2 of those uncles did a good job. That last uncle is a bit itinerant.
I think all 3 of them did a great job. I think that they all had their own unique ways they optimized me.
Wow.
You know,
I guess, yeah.
All via humor and irreverence, generally.
That's lovely.
And unfortunately, 2 of them are deceased. And 2 of them died prematurely, which, you know, by then I was well into the adult. I had my belt of adulthood on, my Griffin Winsler.
You had already,
belt of adulthood on.
You saw them; they were on each of your shoulders. The angels of your uncles, and you said, "Thanks, I got this."
I said, "Thanks, I got this."
I actually got this. You're free. You don't have any more unfinished business.
Yeah,
that business finished when in middle school, that boy almost died from the disease.
I said, I've already had a notch of this in my belt, and now that I'm an adult, I have already been well into stoicism, and I have imagined this event 1,000 times, even before it happened. So now that my uncle has passed away in a tragic way, I feel nothing because I've prepared myself.
Which is good.
Through stoicism.
Yeah.
Which, you know, we should also be teaching to children.
Was that your big important thought?
No,
I kind of got lost on your important thought.
My really important thought was
we kind of went off on whether or not your uncles fucked you, and then they kind of
that was
confused.
Bad. They did not. My really important thought was that in order to optimize children, you do not necessarily need to be a parent.
I see, yes.
You could be an uncle.
Yes.
You could be an aunt. You could be a big brother or big sister.
You could be but a kind neighbor.
Yes.
A wandering magician, perhaps a showman.
Yeah, I think most of my neighbors were too busy optimizing their own kids to really help optimize me. But I did have a lot of nice neighbors.
We need to be helping each other optimize. I'm sorry to sort of take us towards a sort of a socialist hellscape, but if you just trust me, it won't get there. We need to be helping optimize each other's kids. If we do that, we can avoid the socialist hellscape that all the libs want. We can get all the good of it by just helping each other optimize our children. It takes a neighborhood. It takes a city, it takes a town. What does it take to raise a kid?
It takes a village to raise a child.
It takes a neighborhood. It starts with a neighborhood.
It starts with a neighborhood, and then
maybe a cul-de-sac.
And then you let the kid wander away from the neighborhood into the village.
Right. It takes a neighborhood.
It does. Really I think you're laughing, but I think that's essentially
sounds so stupid.
Yeah, it takes a neighborhood to raise a child. I mean, I was able to run around the neighborhood.
Yes. So this is something. I mean, well, I don't really want to talk about. I don't have anything to say. I was going to say we need to let kids. I've already said it. Kids running around. You don't see kids outside anymore. It's insane. It's insane. My friends who have children, they'll acknowledge this and be like, "Yeah, it's not good," but then they just can. Their kids are just cooped up. And I don't know if it's helicopter parenting so much as it's cooped up parenting. I'm not sure what's going on there. And there's the issue is, well, if I let my kids walk to school, walk to the store by themselves, somebody will call for help, and then I'll be
fear of being a bad parent.
CPS or whatever will come a knocking.
Yeah,
because the standards have changed, and I think you got to fight against the tide of that. Let these kids out. Let them. You know what? Kids need a little bit of hardship to grow. Mm-hmm. to become. That's how they're building. They're making the decisions about the kind of person they're going to be, and they're exploring and saying, "Oops, it felt bad to lie then.
Yeah.
Oh, I shouldn't have done the dangerous thing. Oh, I got rewarded for doing the dangerous thing.
Yep.
Oh, actually, lying is really good, and I'm incredible at it, and I can manipulate the other children around me, thus building an empire for myself."
Yeah, I mean that's an excellent.
And they're not going to do that by themselves, or they are going to do that by themselves. They're not going to do it with you around.
That's a good heterodox disruptive thought, is to encourage children to lie, because lying can get you much farther in this world than telling the truth.
At least let them explore the option of lying.
You say, "Wow, that was a really good lie.
Oh my God.
I didn't believe it as your parent because I'm smart.
I'm smart.
But that was a good lie.
Here are the holes in it. Here's you can plug these up. If you plug these up next time, if you get those bases covered, that might have a little bit of tinge of veracity to it."
What was wrong about what you did wasn't the fact that you were lying, is that your lie had holes in it. If you're going to lie, make sure it's a good lie. Make sure it doesn't have any holes.
This is just striking me as a very funny sort of sitcom character talking to a child.
Yeah, that's kind of 2.5 Men.
Yeah, I've never seen it. Is that what they're doing?
I have watched snippets of it here and there just by it being like on at the gym, and like that's the type of shit, is that they had like the two men, and then the 2 men were Charlie Sheen and the other guy, and they weren't the best influences.
They weren't the good guys.
They were trying their best, but they're not the best influences overall. So sometimes they'd say kooky stuff like that, and you never knew what sort of thing they were going to get. That Angus. The kid was like Angus.
I don't know.
I forget
man.
the kid. He was in a lot of movies and TV, but he played the half a man.
What I've done for Tom Cruise, you have done for 2.5 Men.
Yeah. I almost said Angus, and then it was Will Angus.
You thought maybe it was Will Angus?
Yeah, Will Angus. Anyway.
Back to the hardship thing.
Yeah.
I don't even remember the flow of this goddamn conversation.
Yeah.
But they need a little sprinkling of that. I feel like I was listening to like some, oh God, who is it? Some beautiful, I'm sure beautiful heterodox thinker. Maybe I was listening to Jordan Peterson in his early days when he was just mildly weird.
Yeah. You were a Jordan Peterson guy
booster
for a while.
Well, I just didn't like. I thought he had some interesting stuff to say.
Well, they always start off with a little bit of interesting stuff to say.
I feel like I haven't gone back and listened to any of his early stuff, but I do feel like he got way crazier. I feel like I saw him get crazier. I was like, oh, I don't believe that.
We saw Rogan. He was always kind of crazy, but I was into Rogan for a little bit too.
Sure.
And my dad was into Alex Jones, when Alex Jones was kicking off.
Okay.
And that's how I found out about Alex Jones, is my dad was into him. And then Alex Jones is always pretty crazy, but then I saw my dad like also turn off the Alex Jones, which was like, whew, big relief.
That's always nice when you can see your parents growing. You can see them still, you can see them, make some kind of development in their thinking.
Genuinely, I was about to say, like, the fact that we both used to be, or like had dipped our toes in that pipeline, and then seeing my dad having dipped his toes in that pipeline and then gotten out of it, and we're here now. To me, I'm like, well, yeah, that is impressive. Like, that's good.
Yeah.
It shows that we all have grown.
We've all have grown. Trust your children to grow. That's maybe the lesson there. Let them dip their toes in weird stuff, even if you're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's scary. There's weird shit on the internet. There's, whatever is going on this week. There's Groiper, whatever the fuck that is. Don't let your, you want to be a little bit aware of what the kids are taking in, but you got to let them just kind of explore around and find some weird ideas.
And I love what you're doing right here, which is immediately pushing back against yourself earlier in the podcast. Yes. I love that.
Which was, don't let them look at the internet?
No, which was don't let them explore. Make sure they have one thing and focus on that thing. Well,
that's sort of a different, I mean that in a very different way.
Okay.
I think most listeners would understand the difference there, Tom. I'm almost disappointed in you that you don't.
Okay. Well.
Stone cold. Stone cold, sir.
What I was going to say too is that that's another notch. I think like part of becoming an adult, that like notch in the belt is getting sucked into shit like that.
Sure.
And then being like, whoa, what was I thinking? I was kind of in a weird little cult for a while.
The point I was trying to bring up is I was listening to, I want to say it was Jordan Peterson, but it might have been, I don't know, one of these guys. I feel there's like 4 different Jonathans that write books.
Yeah.
So it could have been Malcolm goddamn Gladwell. Anyways, they were talking about some experiment where there was like a playground with like dangerous stuff on it, and it was like children with like hammers and nails.
A dangerous playground.
It was a dangerous playground. I can almost hear Jordan Peterson, nearly crying talking about this.
Yeah,
but it's that it's good for kids because they learn. Don't do. Oh, I hurt myself, and then they learn not to do it. Versus if you let them go through life protecting them from all this stuff, they don't learn what could be bad for them, and then they're way more likely to hurt themselves than others.
It is. I'm losing my mind.
Hold on. Okay, you'll lose your mind even more.
Keep going.
Well, that's about it. Is that like I think that's an incredible idea. That's a genius. Innovative idea. If it's just the experiment, let's get it out there to the real world. Yeah. Let's get it out of the lab. Let's let those playgrounds abound. But that's not the right use of that word. Then as I was doing minimal research, but still my own research, Huntington Central Park Adventure Playground.
Okay.
Hold on. This is just a random website. Hold on. Adventure Playground in Huntington. Oh my God. Turns 50. Hold on. Where is it? Where is it? It's a playground. It's a real. Sorry. It's a real playground. Sorry, I'm like fully like looking at the. What? Okay. I did this. I did a Google search. I thought I had it queued up, man. Okay. It's a real playground that had boards and nails and hammers for children to play with. The option to build on the forts with hammers and nails has been removed to ensure safety of all participants. That's what I was trying to find. Here,
and that sucks because we want. The dangerous playground
when you visit Adventure Playground, you will notice the location has undergone some changes since 2019. 3 forts, the changing rooms, and the staircase to the mudslide have been completely rebuilt. The option to build on the forts with hammers and nails has been removed. 2019, they changed that. I think that's a big mistake.
So they were like, what would be a great idea is if these kids could add to the playground themselves with hammers and nails.
How long has this fucking thing been open? It's been years. Years that there were hammers and nails on the playground for the children to build forts. Oh, but still, Adventure Playground is a wonderful playing experience for children up to 14 years old. Kids can raft on a small pond, go down a mudslide, traverse the rope bridge over the pond, and build forts with extra large building blocks in the fort area. Extra large building blocks, get real. Give them some self-what do they call them? Self-sinking screws? Drilling screws. Some, a crowbar, a hammer.
Yeah, they need like real tools.
Yes.
Give them real hammers and nails to build. To add on to the playground is awesome.
I didn't have, I probably had access to plenty of this stuff, but I didn't have that stuff in school, and I hurt people all the time on accident. And if I had learned just how, bad a hammer is, maybe I wouldn't have hit a friend in the head with a hammer one time as a joke.
Yeah. The dangerous playground does sound like
Gabe.
A thought experiment. Like, the dangerous, have the thought experiment called the dangerous playground. It's or like an idea where you're like,
no, these guys made it real for a while until these fucking soft parents made them change it.
Having a playground where you can get on a raft and raft across a pond is pretty cool.
That's incredible. I feel like when I was a kid, I dreamed about building a boat.
Yeah.
Like an actual functioning boat and like taking it onto a pond. And I just have a cool thing. That was the dream. So to even get close to that in a public park.
Yeah.
I don't know how public it is. It probably costs money to get in. Huntington Beach.
Adventure Playground.
Central Park,
it was in
Adventure
Huntington,
Playground.
California, Huntington Beach.
Huntington Beach. Yeah, it still is.
Whoa.
It still is.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, I think Jordan Peterson or whoever was saying that is onto something.
Yeah, dangerous playground. We have hammers and nails. We have the kids can join an extremist group.
Right. There's
to know what it feels like, and then say, "Oh wow, these kids this is a bit extreme."
Yes, then you have a few older kids. You kind of have to American History X situation.
Yeah.
You know, you have to a few older kids who've already been down that route. They can let them know the error of their ways. You know, hate begets hate, violence begets violence.
Yeah.
And so they can get that phase of their life done earlier, so they can get to the next level, the next career, the next thought pattern, the next ideology.
I think another good thing for the dangerous playground would be like chemicals, like allowing, you know, like
access
a small amount of chemicals so that you understand what they do and that they're bad, but you won't hurt yourself too bad.
Access to industrial grade glue.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can understand the good type of glue and the bad type of glue.
Yes.
That's interesting about the dangerous playground.
I think it's incredible. We had Discovery Zone as children. Do you remember this place?
Yeah, absolutely.
They had a competing one. Do you remember what the competing one was?
I went to them, but yeah, I know Discovery Zone.
Let me know in the reviews, the 5-star Google reviews, wherever you're doing it.
5-star Google reviews.
Make a business. Make a Google Maps business for our podcast and leave a Google review. But Discovery Zone, and you just go crazy in there, and you know, you're dropping from high heights, rope bridges, kids falling on each other. I remember falling so hard one time, my knee went into my tooth and knocked my head back.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, you know, I need to be a little bit more careful.
Sometimes the most dangerous playground when you're a kid is your own body.
Or your own mind.
That's another, two more really important thoughts for you.
Your body is a wonderland. It's also a dangerous playground.
It's also a dangerous playground.
I wish John Mayer listened to the podcast and he would record a version of his song called Your Body is a Dangerous Playground. I feel like he's a fan enough of comedy that if we had any level of notoriety, he would do it.
Yeah. And kind of another weird. He is kind of a weird guy.
I hope so. Did you have another next thought about optimizing children?
Well, I think I touched on earlier of teaching them, you know, stoicism and philosophies early on. Yes. You know, I think teaching them. I have written down homeschool them.
Interesting.
You know, to optimize them. Don't let them become too influenced by
big academia, which is your local elementary school. Right.
You want to teach them important things they need to know, like millionaire math.
Right.
You know, like exponential growth.
Right.
The 1% rule. Do you know what the 1% rule is?
Hold on. 1% of the time. No, I don't remember.
You get 1% better every day. You don't try.
That's the rule?
The rule. Yeah. The 1% rule. You try and get 1% better at something every single day. So then after a full year, you're 365% better.
Unless it's a leap year. And then you're 364% better.
Yeah. And a quarter.
Sure.
But so you're growing exponentially throughout. You're becoming more and more talented. You teach them millionaire math. You teach them the 1% rule. You teach them about real estate. Mm-hmm. You know, stocks, bonds. Teach them how to build YouTube side hustles. Teach them how to upload B-roll. Yeah, drop shipping.
Teach them how to upload B-roll.
Yeah, upload B-roll to YouTube.
So that people can use it?
So that no. What I mean, I didn't get to mention it. So building profitable YouTube channels, i.e., uploading like relaxing B-roll with with like music over it. People watch it for like hours.
This is a thing?
This is a thing. I've seen a young man.
I've got hours of B-roll just sitting on my hard drive. You're telling me I'm sitting on a treasure trove of cash?
Saying one time I saw a young man who was like, it was like on one of those like hustle things. And he's like, I've got 10 YouTube channels. They're like all relaxing. Like he's like, I upload 4.5 hours of AI footage, like B-roll, put music over the top and be like relaxing music for sleep. And then he was like saying like all the things you could do to optimize it so that your video would appear first. And he's like, if you're not making $1 million a month from this, you are deserve to be poor.
Holy shit.
It was that type of thing. And then everyone was like, well, dude, yeah, now everything's saturated. Like, yeah, I mean, I guess if you're the first to upload a 4-hour long like thunderstorm for sleep.
My treasure trove of interesting clouds I've seen is not really worth much.
No, I think it could be.
Can that be my YouTube channel? Some interesting clouds I've seen.
Yeah.
And it's just footage of those clouds. I like to take footage of clouds.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to do with them other than I find little spots for them.
I think if
put them in this podcast, the video podcast probably includes some interesting shots of clouds.
If you put your cloud footage with maybe some like loops of early laser monster stuff, like and said like relaxing clouds for sleep,
it's all early laser monster stuff.
Then you could probably have a good YouTube side hustle.
Okay. Wow.
But anyway, teaching homeschool. If you homeschool your kids, you can teach them that sort of material instead of like where like Uzbekistan is,
Still don't know.
Or where Chile is, I've never had to find Chile in my life, but I have had to think of ways to earn money.
I've had to find $500.
Yeah. I've had to scrounge up $500.
And damn, I might have to do it again.
And so teaching kids the skills they actually will need to use in life.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
So I think it's sort of a no tangent here. Children rebel against their parents.
Yeah, that's one of the worst things about children.
Right.
They think for themselves.
They think it's one of the best and one of the worst. Classically a double-edged
belt.
You want them to think for themselves, but it's so painful to have them think about stuff that you didn't want them to be thinking about. You didn't want them to having an opinion. Well, you're a Republican, your kid grows up, they're Democrat or whatever. You're a Democrat, your kid grows up, they're hardcore right wing or whatever.
Yeah,
it's always political. Or you like country music, your kids they rebel against the music.
Yeah.
So you listen, you just don't come at them hard with your full personality. I think this is maybe the advice. Don't come at them hard with your full personality. Have a few things outliers because you want them to be like you. Mm-hmm. You think you've done a good job of being a person.
Yeah.
You still want them to be their own person a little bit. So what are you laughing at?
Well, I'm glad I'm going to pay you $100
you can tell
a day to give me parenting advice because this is
so. You just gotta inoculate them a little bit. You gotta give them, make them think that the thing they're rebelling against you don't like, but really they do.
Yeah. It's like the reverse. Yeah, reverse psychology.
Yeah.
So if you're,
you're not gonna be able to fully be like whatever. I don't like classic rock, so I can get my kid. I want my kid to listen to classic rock. Well, the way to do that would be to be like, classic rock sucks.
Yeah.
But you're not going to, realistically.
All these Zeppelin records they stink.
Right. Realistically, you're not going to be able to do that all the time because you're going to want to listen to your damn records.
Yeah, you can't say my Zeppelin records
But get it in where you can, I think. Say, I don't know. I mean, Jimmy Page, sad life that guy's living.
Wait.
Sort of.
So you're saying
I'm saying realistically, you're gonna want to listen to Led Zeppelin, and you want your kid to listen to Led Zeppelin too. I don't know what I'm saying, man.
So you're saying that you need to. I think you
need to act like you think Zeppelin sucks half the time, and if you have to listen to Zeppelin, you have to caveat it with like, it's a sad life these guys lived. They indulged every desire, and they believe in nothing.
I'm just listening to this to remind myself how much I hate these guys.
I fucking hate these guys. Oh my God, listen to how interesting Pink Floyd's being right now. It's like, guys, lay off.
And then they grow.
Enough with the synthesizers.
Then your kid becomes an adult and they're like, man, my dad was a fucking idiot.
or your kid grows up and is like, man, Pink Floyd sucks ass. It just backfires fully. I having just said that, I'm now, the reality is that my dad listened to college radio a bunch and had lots of like cool music on, and my mom as well. And I learned about all kinds of stuff that I'm still like, that's one of the best probably gifts of the many gifts you get from your parents. The sense of taste, sense of musical taste, is actually really nice, and I'm very thankful that my parents played. They used to wake us up with "Time" by Pink Floyd every day.
Yeah, the dung.
All the clocks going crazy.
Kind of on the nose.
Yeah, on the nose, but
it's a little bit on the nose.
And then it gets into Pink Floyd. Well, I mean, it's supposed to be what are you talking about?
No, it's fun for
kids.
You
gotta wake up.
You gotta be. Yeah. And then you gotta wake up.
But sometimes it just be some other music.
Kids, you got to wake up and listen to the lyrics because these lyrics were written by a young man who understood time very well.
And how to use it.
Yeah.
How to optimize it.
And how it seems to go by very quickly.
Ticking away the moments that make up a dull day, famously.
And then you know, and then you look back and, oh, wow, 10 years have passed you by.
Wow. Good lesson for kids in the morning.
Yeah, my dad did he introduced me to a lot of good music. My mom did as well. They also introduced me to a lot of bad music. I think like good. I
think the only way, now that I'm saying this, the only way the music thing isn't true. If you kids are going to like the music, if you show them good music, the kids are going to like good music. It's politics, politics, ideology. That's the only thing that would really work with.
Yeah. You gotta be like, oh,
these fucking idiot Republicans, I hate them. And then your kid can become Republican. And then you're like, these fucking dumb Democrats. Well, then that's how you make your kid become a Democrat.
And that's going to be pretty easy for me because, you know, I can find the stinkers on both sides of the aisle.
And they're equally bad on both sides, especially right now in America.
Yeah. We can, God. Okay. But no, I do. The music is true. There's a lot of good. My parents showed me a lot of good music. They also showed me like Trisha Yearwood, who I'm like, I don't know if I can say I love.
You're so thankful to know about Trisha Yearwood.
Or like Leanne Rimes.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I was like, I don't really listen to Leanne Rimes anymore, or really like any of Leanne Rimes' music. But
my mom used to drive. I remember driving to school, and my mom would play Patsy Cline.
Okay, that's
lots
good.
Of Patsy Cline.
Yeah. My
mom.
La
la la triangle. You know that one? Well, that's a song about triangles.
I've never really listened to that.
It's a song about love triangles.
Okay, cool.
But at the time, you know, as a little kid, you're like singing about shapes. This is perfectly appropriate.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was my big thought, was to sort of reverse psychology them about the ideology that you want them to have.
No, that is a good thought. That's 4D parenting right there. I think you just succinctly, you know, I was laughing at you earlier because you're just kind of like, it was kind of hard to track what you were saying, but then you said it so succinctly there that I'm like, yeah, this is the guy you want consulting.
And I need to learn how to express my ideas more clearly.
That's so okay. You normally do. I'm not.
Oh, that's good to hear.
I wasn't trying to roast you. I was just trying to. Anyway.
Well, sometimes I feel myself getting a little bit long-winded.
Well, this is the place to be long-winded on really important thinking.
Here's another thing I'm thinking about from having experiences. Your children need experiences, and we got to, you know, the screens are beautiful and nice, but they're ruining everybody's minds. We need kids to get out of the house and go do something with their parents. Go to the movies, fine. That's basically just a screen. Whitewater rafting, fishing, kayak, outdoors activities, great. Walking, geocaching. You can do that in a city. You can go geocaching with your kids. How fun! I've done that once. Did that once with my uncle and cousins. And my, uncle drove us, dragged us around the suburbs of Nashville for an afternoon while we found, little packets of like crayons or something that people had left around. It was awesome.
You go geocaching and then you teach your kids how to do Taekwondo, so that when they get beat up for being a geocacher, they know how to defend themselves.
They can defend. But isn't Taekwondo mostly just like about like doing the moves, right? It's not like actual. It's like for actual fighting.
Oh no, there's plenty of good actual
real application
in Taekwondo. I mean, you can't like do a spinning crescent kick to diffuse your bully, who's about to ruin your big geocache, but you can learn how to deflect.
I was thinking about experiences because I was listening to Nate Bargatze talking on Conan's podcast, and this was a big thing for him as, people need experiences. This is why he wants to make an amusement park. Have you heard him talk about this?
No.
Bargatze fans out there. It seems so deranged because he wants to, in Nashville used to have a place called Opryland that you could like take your kids and they could go, it's an amusement park.
Oh, you don't got to tell me about Opryland. I experienced it.
I wish I had an Opryland t-shirt right now. Oh my God.
My parents took me to Opryland and it was very cool.
It's so fucked up cool. And it's so sad that they took it away from us to give us a big Bass Pro Shop.
Yeah.
Whatever. But Bargatze wants to create Nate Land. So instead of just like making an amusement park, redoing Opryland or whatever, which is beloved, he wants to have it just be themed around him. It's like he wants to do Dollywood, which is itself insane. Yeah. But he wants to do Dollywood, but have it be Nate Bargatze Land in Nashville. This is his big plan. This is his dream. And he's like, I don't know if we're going to get it off the ground right now. I don't know if it's going to happen. It could fall apart.
Why brand it as yourself?
Why? It's a fine idea to want it to be a place for parents to take their children to have an incredible experience. Why in the fuck does it have to be? It's such a strange, egocentric.
Yeah. Seems kind of crazy from a guy who doesn't seem to me has a big ego, but I guess he does.
It seems like it. I hate to be calling out my peer Nate Bargatze on the podcast, fellow Nashvilleian, fellow comedian.
Well, and you both have
explorer.
released so many stand-up specials. You both have released the exact same amount of stand-up specials.
We've released the exact same amount of stand-up specials. I was going to try to. I don't know what I was going to do. I saw his a short aside. I saw his dad do magic once before Nate Bargatze was famous. When I was just a kid, his dad came to our summer camp and did an anti-bullying magic show.
Whoa, cool.
So, Nate, it's not all hate, man. Your dad's pretty cool. Just don't make the amusement park about you. That's weird.
Yeah, that's strange.
It's very strange. Anyways.
So I think we've covered a lot of ground here. I think we maybe
too much.
Figured out how to optimize parenting more than children themselves.
Which, they're intertwined.
That's very true.
You're right, though. As
and
as is the case usually, we veer wildly off path.
Yes, we hope that all of our citizen soldiers out there, if you do have kids, that maybe you found a few good nuggets of parenting advice.
And if you're thinking about, if you weren't thinking about having kids, in fact, maybe we said something that made you think, I'd like to give that a try.
Yeah, maybe if you think The Dangerous Playground was such an interesting, fun thought experiment that you want to have kids now, that's great. Or if you're like, oh, I have no one to pass all my music on to, maybe start thinking about having a kid.
Maybe start thinking about having that big kid you've always dreamed about. Anything else, Tom?
I think that's it. I think we're at a good length of time. I think we've covered a lot. There's been a lot of big announcements in this podcast up front. So if people listened all the way through, I'm sorry that the back end wasn't as full of important announcements and big announcements as the front end, but thank you.
Well, let me save it real quick.
Oh, yes.
Because we were going over the numbers before we started recording.
We did.
And there's been a development. Usually, one of the city we have the most listeners. Wait, what was it?
It's like this. It's aside from Los Angeles, where we live. That's where that's where we have the most listeners. But
the city in the forefront of the previously Goober Time listening experience was Melbourne, Australia.
Yeah,
that is no longer the case.
That is no longer the case. Melbourne, you have been dethroned.
You have been passed in the left-hand lane by Washington, D.C., our nation's capital.
Our nation's capital, probably because, we discuss politics. We have such keen political insight.
We have something incredible to say about this very political moment every week. And they're wanting to know what to do about that.
But here's the catch, Melbourne.
Fear not, Australia.
You are only behind by 3 downloads. So if any one of our 78 listeners in Melbourne tells one person...
Hell, if every one of you gets one person, we'll double our listenership entirely. Yeah. We'll almost double it. And if
you'll pass Washington, D.C. Yeah, you'll pass Washington, D.C. as the top city. And likely, if you do that, you'll probably top Los Angeles. Because you're only Melbourne is only 20 downloads behind Los Angeles to be the top city of all time on really important thinking.
Despite everything I've ever said about Australia and how often in my own life I've, besmirched and belittled the Australian for coming over here with, your cool lackadaisical attitude and ripped hot bods stealing our women left and right. I believe in you. I think you can do this. Prove to Washington, D.C. that you've got what it takes, Melbourne, Australia. And if
prove that we're the ones who are down under the southern, prove to the northern hemisphere that they're actually at the bottom and you're at the top.
Right.
That's what we want to do.
Kind of wanted you to explain that for another 4 minutes. Thank you for tuning in, citizen soldiers.
Yes, as always, welcome to the journey. Welcome to the awakening. You are loved. No one thinks like you. The name of the podcast may have changed, but the mantra has not.
Goober Time is produced by me, Griffin, and Lauren Talmadge. Executive produced by Tim McGower. Associate producer Ahmed Stork, and aspiring producer Little Jimmy Penn. Goober Time is engineered by Roger Goodrich and recorded at Detweiler Sound in Humboldt, Tupelo, Mississippi. Sound mixing by Reed Armband with music by Laser Monster, which is Griffin in the past. You can check it out at lasermonster.bandcamp.com. Tom's costume was provided by Padma Lakshmi with catering provided by Kokomo's Mungo Lounge. Kokomo's, if you can't take her here, you can't take her anywhere.